Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in June 2020. Hello, Sagittarius. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, half of the year is done. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you happy? Are you safe? Are you healthy? I hope so. A lot of things are going on out here in the world. We're still in a pandemic. Here in the States, we are dealing with some rioting or protests that turn into riots, and it's just a little bit of a crazy time to be alive, friends. So if you're involved in any of that, if you're out in this world socializing, if you're out in this world, showing your, your political opinions, whatever you're doing, I hope that you're safe and you're doing so with the utmost respect and kindness towards others, okay? All right, general announcements here on the channel for June. Sagittarius, I will be going live at some point in the month with a surprise live for the collective. I normally only go live once a month for the particular zodiac sign whose birthday season it is. So I wanted to do something to kind of open myself up and be more available to you guys, interact with more of you guys at one time. So if you are subscribed, just make sure your notifications are turned on. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so and turn on notifications so you can see when I do go live on the channel, okay? Alright guys, let's get into the regular spiel. Here we go. Shuffled off camera, that's your main spread there. Going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamps in the description box already if you want to jump ahead. Also down in the description is all the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have a question before you place an order, just email me at the same address and I'll answer your question as soon as I can, alright? And if you are interested in following me on Instagram, your girl is over there pulling oracle cards throughout the week. The name over there is EmpathicFire Tarot. You'll see it appear here on the screen somewhere in case you missed it in the opening. And like I said, I am doing oracle cards over there. I'm eventually thinking of doing some pick-a-card stuff. So if you're interested in seeing me develop and do things over there, just give me a follow, okay? All right, Sag, let's get into it. Let's see that outcome, huh? Let me see the outcome in June for Sagittarius, please. Sagittarius' outcome in June 2020. Please show me. Did something flip? Yes, it did. Okay. Where's that going? It's like that, and that's like that. Cool. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And we're going to flip the cards that came face down so we can see your whole reading, of course. Oh, no. Oh, no. Eep. Who knows? It might not be a bad thing. We'll see. Okay, let's get into it. Please show me where Sagittarius is in June 2020. Sagittarius in June 2020, please show me. All right, we got it. Oof. I gotta say, aside from that little cough I just did there, when I was connecting with this position, my heart and my stomach sank a little bit, so that might be affecting you guys right now. You might be a little nervous about something, or you might be, in a situation that has your anxiety kind of going off the chain or something like that. Off the chain? Wow. I'm an old person, or an older person. I'll say I'm an older person. Anyway, Sag, here we go. Coming into June, you come in with the energy of the Ace of Swords. Big truths, big clarity, big honesty, speaking honestly in a situation, coming in and delivering a truth or receiving a truth or some type of clarity in a situation. Is this like focused all the way? No, it's not. Why are you being this way? Come on, camera. I thought we were friends. Maybe that's... My guides are funny. Maybe that's something that you're saying to someone. I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. Something about the truth of the matter, the truth of a situation, bringing to light information that was kept hidden, kept suppressed or repressed in some type of way, speaking honestly from the heart, trying not to be a bad guy or a bad girl in the situation, but possibly knowing what you're going to say or what you're going to hear is going to be hurtful, disappointing. upsetting to some degree or fashion. I like this because, Sag, for those who might not know, on my channel, I promote, authenticity. I promote self-awareness. I promote people living autonomously, living truthfully with the self. And sometimes the truths that you hold for yourself are very unfortunate, okay, unfortunate, offensive, disappointing to others. So you might be expressing this to people. You might have a particular thing that you want to share, and it's hurtful to someone else, or it's disappointing to someone else, or vice versa. It can go both ways, right? Or either way, I should say. It can go either way. But it feels like, for me, Sagittarius, like this is imperative, like it has to be done, or it has to be said. Now, the choice of words, the timing, all of that stuff, maybe that could be altered to sort of quote unquote lessen the blow, but ultimately this feels like it was going to happen eventually. It was eventually going to be expressed, but the way in which it is expressed, the timing of when this information is transmitted. Thank you. I was like, well, there was a word there. It's falling on ears, and the ears that are receiving this information are not very happy, not very receptive in some cases. That's the other thing that can happen. You might speak your truth to someone, or they might speak it to you, and there might be sort of a denial aspect, or it's been happening like slowly, but thank you, that's another way, slowly but surely. In some cases, this has been happening, trying to get someone to understand something in a situation, trying to get them to see your point of view, trying to get them to understand where you're coming from, or what you're feeling and thinking. And there's like this, nah, I don't see it that way. Or, other cases for some of you guys, it's been an issue of bravery. This is a hand grasping onto a sword, which, back in medieval times, and even today, if someone picks up a sword, you kind of understand they mean business, right? Like, someone picks up a sword and pulls it out of its sheath. It's like, okay, I guess you're for real. And I feel like you, or whoever this is resonating with, may have been reluctant to do this, may have feared the outcome or the reaction that they were going to receive once they spoke, once they presented their side of the story. Or, again, there's something about a big piece of truth, a big chunk of clarity coming into a situation, revealing possible secrets, or revealing held back thoughts and emotions. It's a lot. You guys are all living different experiences, right? Ultimately, though, Sagittarius, I like it because, again, as a reader, as a person who's doing this work, and it's a part of my own spiritual journey, I advocate for authenticity, even if it ends up hurting a person, because I don't see how you can grow spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, all the ways. I don't understand the lack of truth. I really don't. I mean, I get it. I get why people do it. I understand motivations, but it doesn't serve in the long run. It doesn't serve. And this is what this feels like. It hasn't served to keep this information held back. It hasn't helped anything. It hasn't offered a true solution. It's only delayed the inevitable. And that has been coming up in a few readings that I've done for June. A lot of people are dealing with these delays of the inevitable. And now that certain things are changing in the atmosphere, certain things are changing in the energetic makeup of us as a collective of humans here on this earth, these truths are coming out, and people are not prepared to deliver it, and people are also not prepared to receive it. And that's what this is. That's what this feels like. So what else happens, please, for Sagittarius? Okay, so you might be talking to, yeah, it's like right up into this person's energy. So Princess of Cups, aka Page of Cups. You might be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or, I mean, it doesn't have to be a water sign, but this could be why. Like, okay. Some of you, okay, princesses and pages in tarot can speak to children. So some of you are delivering information to your children or a child or a group of children or whoever, or a younger person, let's just say it that way, a younger person potentially, in your care. They don't have to be your child. They could be, your younger cousin or your niece or your nephew, something like that. And because they're young, specifically for people that are young, like, not a legal adult in wherever you live, right? So like a teenager, an adolescent, a young child, a toddler, whatever. Because they're young, you don't want to tell them this. And I understand, again, I do understand, even though I don't know that I would do it all the time if I were a parent, and maybe I wouldn't be a good parent because of it. But there's something about having not told a young person something, and it is a protective move. I was guarding you from the truth because I thought the truth would hurt you, or I was delaying this conversation because I didn't have the words. I didn't know how to properly explain the situation. And again, I'm not a parent. I've been saying that since day one of this channel. And I don't aim to give any other adult who's raising a child advice, but this feels like that thing of difficult decisions or difficulty in expressing a piece of reality to a young person who doesn't necessarily understand the details. Yeah. So this could be reasons at this moment in our current history. This could be issues surrounding the health of someone. Okay. If someone has been diagnosed or if someone has come down with an illness, you might have to explain that it's to the child, to the young person, Uncle Bobby, or, your older sister, Sabrina, whoever is, going through something medically speaking, right? This could be explanations of why you're going to have to move, or why you have to relocate to wherever for whatever reason, right? I understand logically why people do this. And I feel, like I said before when I started the reading, my heart dropped a little bit and my stomach dropped a little bit, like going to have a conversation with this young person. The quality of this person being that it's cups, regardless of their sign or not, this person or these people, because it could be more than one child, are very sensitive. They're very sensitive. I don't care what their sign is or anything like that. They're like extremely sensitive to change. They're very sensitive to disruptions to their happiness or their contentment. They might not have the best coping skills. And again, that's just basic human psychology and basic human development. You tell a 4-year-old something or you tell a 9-year-old something, they're going to react very differently. The 9-year-old is a little bit more mature than the 4-year-old, but the 9-year-old is still not an adult, right? So if it's a child or a younger person, I get it. But ultimately, as from the energy that I feel as the reader, as the person who does this work, I'm telling you, it would have come this way regardless. I think some of you Sagittariuses or whoever this is resonating with, if it's vice versa, you're a cross watcher, fine. It feels like it was going to be this way regardless, and there's no reason for you to beat yourself up about it. You've tried, you tried your best. You did what you thought was responsible, what was correct in the situation. And now that the time has come to deliver this information, to have this conversation with this person, you're thinking of the right way to phrase it, the right words to use, and it's still going to sting. It's still going to hurt this person regardless. Okay. If they're not a young person, still the same thing. They're sensitive. They're not ready for change. If they're an adult, okay, so we'll switch it over to the adults. Sensitive to change. This person is just like delicate in a way, or you perceive them that way, or they perceive you that way if you're the Princess of Cups person, right? And that is either an exaggeration of this person's character, or it's dead on, right? And you're like, well, what the hell does that mean? Okay, in some of the cases, like whoever the Princess of Cups is, they are indeed what some people might phrase as overly sensitive, right? Hypersensitivity, right? Ah, okay. So that's why I have to qualify this. Cups in tarot can indicate that someone is an empathic person. They don't have to be, okay? But that highly sensitive person, HSP, that is also sometimes, I don't know how correctly, but it's sometimes equated to an empathic person. And empathic people are known to be, I don't want to say reactionary, but like take things to heart. Or, that's the other part. That's why I said that might be a misperception or, what did I say? I don't even remember. I just said it like 2 seconds ago. Like, that's your perception that this person is going to be like so crushed. However, if they are HSP, an empathic person, a highly sensitive person, they already know what is going to be said. That's why I said they could be viewed as being extremely sensitive, but actually they might not be. That might just be your perception of them or how others perceive them as like the moment this information is delivered, they're going to crumble to the ground and become a hot mess of tears and sobbing and wailing. And it's just not that way, right? So there is a slight knowingness, just a slight knowingness in this Princess of Cups because it is still a page. It's still developing in this, in the suit of cups. Yeah. It's not a master like a queen or a king. Okay. So the truth, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, you know, you know it or you're about to know it, is not preventable, or like I said, it was inevitable that this information were to be exchanged. The reaction to it, I don't know that even matters, because this work had to be done or has to be done to a certain extent, right? It's difficult, but it has to be done. You know? So what else happens, please? I think that this person is more secure than other people believe them to be. Like, look at, you know, seated on the ground. You know, it might even be one of those things. You know, one of those things. Hey, I got some new, you know, the Princess of Cups might say to you, Sag, oh, hey, what's up? I'm so glad to see you. You're like, have a seat. We got to talk. You know, it's one of those things, right? So this person, because they appear seated on that card, they're actually ready to receive this news, right? Ready to receive this truth, right? So I the worry of hurting them or the worry of them melting and falling to pieces, I think is a little misguided. We'll say it that way. You know, they might actually do it, but let's say it that way. If they do fall to pieces, they will recover, you know? They will recover it in time, all right? So what else happens, please, for Sagittarius? Please show me. Okay. You got a lot of cups, Jesus. It's like admitting that there is something significant going on in the situation at large, but then also talking about a missed opportunity. So this could be a reconciliation for some of you, or an attempt at a reconciliation, but it's not necessarily going to go that way. I think that's what we're talking about here. Yeah? Okay. Yes. They're like, yep, up. You got it. So you have someone, for those, you know, still with the children, that's still significant in here somehow. I guess we'll talk about it down the line if it comes up. Because you do have the princess and you have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is like screaming at me. Because the Six of Cups in tarot, one of the things that many readers will say, and if you've been with me for a while, I am less likely to say it, but I will say it today, is one of the cards of soulmate connections, okay? Now, I say it today, still with the caveat of consider expanding or being a little bit open to what, you know, to interpreting soulmate in a different type of way. This deck is so finicky. Like, you have to be like super close to get it to focus, and then pull it out. And even then, it doesn't look that great. Anyway, so soulmates, to I think most people's ears who, hear it casually or like, oh, it's like a blissful experience. It's like very storybook, very fantasy, very fairy tale. Sometimes soulmates are in our lives and they come that way. And maybe you've had an experience with this person, or there's some soulmate experience in this vicinity, period, right? The caveat is that it's not always pleasant. It's not always fun. It's not always roses and rainbows. Sometimes a soulmate connection is very trying. It's very hurtful or challenging, right? It doesn't always make you feel good. Sometimes you're in many states of misery when you're talking about a soulmate connection. Now, for some of you, this is about trying to reconcile with a primary partner after having had an outside relationship, right? So this could be, the big truth could be, I cheated on you, right? The big revelation could be, for the past 6 years, I've been with another person, or whatever it is. 6 because of the 6 of Cups. I'm like, why did I say 6 years? Six of Cups maybe, or 6 years maybe. And in a situation like that, especially with a long-term affair, some people don't know. But again, I feel whoever is receiving the information, the Princess of Cups, you, the other person, whoever, they kind of already know. Now, the question is, Sagittarius, who's the soulmate, or who is the person you have the soul contract with? Again, it would be tough to call as the reader here, because this is a general, right? It could be the primary partner. It could be the outside partner. It could be any children involved. Maybe you have a soulmate relationship with your children, and this news hurts them too, you know what I mean? It could be you have multiple soulmates in this situation. You could be soulmates with both of the partners, or both of the adult partners, right? I don't know. It's your situation. Please, fit it in if it fits. But there's this aspect of recollection or nostalgia because of the 6 of Cups coming in. That recalls us to the past and pleasant times when, in childhood, most of the time, we are carefree, are we not? For the most part. Not everybody's childhood is so beautiful and carefree. But for many of us, it is. And that would be an indicator of, quote unquote, who the soulmate is. It gives you that feeling of ease. It feels like riding a bike. It feels like you have known this person or this type of connection before. And again, that's great and all, but it does not preclude or exonerate your connection from strife and struggle and pain. Even if every time you guys come together, whether it's your partner or the person outside or whoever it is in the situation, at some point there's going to be friction, and that's natural in soulmate relationships. One of the things that I mentioned for myself in my personal journey is my sister is one of my soulmates in my life, and we grew up together. We've known each other for her entire life since she's younger than me, right? And we have not always gotten along. We have always had, well, we haven't always had, but for a majority of our time together on this earth thus far, it was contentious and it wasn't easy. And we've had to make amends and get over certain hurdles and mature over time and go through our own life experiences that teach us lessons that we can apply to our own connection. Like because of a relationship or a friendship I had outside of my connection with my sister, I learned a lesson and then I apply it to my relationship with her, and it makes things easier, right? She and I exchange energy and we teach each other lessons that we apply to relationships outside of our dynamic. Does that make sense? So that is what's going on here. At the center of it, kind of in the middle of, it's in the center, you could say, of this reading is this connection. of a significance. If it's not soulmate, you know, if you want to go up and make it a little more ballsy, you could say twin flame, you could say, you know, divine partnership, whatever you want. That is the crux of the situation. And it feels like you or someone is viewing it as a missed opportunity because you have this Ace of Cups in the reverse right above it. Show you this card upright so you can get better used to the artwork. So I feel like that hand would be emerging from a body of water, or maybe like even breaking through some ice and coming out of a difficult situation, coming out of a restrictive energy, right? And offering it in the situation, an opportunity in the situation. However, in your reading, Sagittarius, it's in the reverse. It's in the reverse. So it's either showing a delay or a rejection or missed opportunity. It's more feeling like missed opportunity, really. And I think it's because the truth comes out. There's this truth in the Six of Cups, whatever it is, however it breaks down in your situation, whatever, if it's third party, if it's not even third party, if it's just, it doesn't even have to be third party. Thank you. Here we go. For those where there's not third party, and it's very possible that there's not, this is simply realizing a lack of love, a lack of returned feelings and emotions, a lack of feeling as connected to the relationship, to the commitment, to the partnership, to the friendship, whatever. Yeah? There's a pouring out, the Ace of Cups in reverse, pouring out of emotions. I'm expressing to you that my emotions in this situation have dwindled, have gone away, have been poured out. I can't give any more in this situation. I can't offer you what you are offering to me, and we're at an impasse. Again, what can happen in soulmate connections? I don't like to talk about soulmates too much on my channel because I think for some reason people want to believe that soulmates are supposed to be positive all the time, or in a majority of the cases a positive experience, and it's just not the case. People, I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm letting you know, I work with clients all the time. Is this person my soulmate? Is this person my twin flame? Is this person this and this person is that? And I give people the honest response. No, they're not. They feel like it because they're comfortable to you, because you recognize them on a soul level, hence the word soulmate. You recognize them on a soul level, but they're in your life to wake you up, to give you a lesson, to send you down a path towards your enlightenment, towards your enrichment on a soul level. Do they have to be in your life the entire time? Maybe. Do they have to be in your life for an extended period of time? Maybe not. So that is also here. It might not have anything to do with a third party, interference or cheating, adultery or anything like that. It could just be simply someone says to a person of significance that they've known for a long time, or at least have been close to for a long time, I don't think I can do this anymore, or I'm not able to give into the situation as much as I was previously, because again, the aces are offers or opportunities. Often they come from the powers that be, the cosmos, the universe, God, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. Sometimes they are energies that a person can embody or that a person can present. Yeah? So I feel that there's a lack of offer, a lack of reciprocity in a situation. Excuse me. And for the most part, this is going to be a bittersweet revelation. Because what did I say before? Someone is like anxious and for lack of a better word, possibly afraid to share this truth, to get clear in a situation, to have an honest conversation, right? And somebody else is going to receive it and not like it, but for the most part, they're probably not going to fall to pieces. They might hurt for a while, they might suffer for a while, but ultimately they will not perish, right? But it creates unhappy. It creates not only unhappy feelings, uncomfortable feelings. This is a friendship that you've had possibly since childhood, and your friend or you have differences of opinion or differences in your path, in your journeys, and you know that and they know that, but you haven't really admitted it to each other. It's like, I've known you for 34 years, Tom. I've known you for 34 years. You know, Bethany or whoever, Victoria, whatever your name is, it doesn't matter. And it's like, I see us going different ways, and this person might say, yeah, I know. Or they might say, yeah, I know, I just didn't want to admit it. You know? So it's a bittersweet feeling. Because, and why do I say that? Because you've got these two cards, and I'm probably going to blaze through them because they're pretty simple. It's bittersweet because, first of all, you've got the Three of Swords. Bitter. There's not much that happens in the Three of Swords that is pleasant overall. It's usually, you know, not what we want to endure. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get my heart stabbed. Who does? Maybe a crazy magician named David Blaine. For my next trick, I'm going to stab myself in the heart. Like, okay. But other than that, most rational human beings, not to say he's not rational, he's a very good magician, but most rational human beings don't want to endure this energy, don't want to experience this, are possibly fearful of this. Like, I do get that sense that someone is like fearful of breaking someone else's heart, of hurting someone else because they feel they don't deserve it. Again, if you're having to deliver tough news to a child, going way back to that storyline, there's no third-party situation potentially in that situation, but delivering heartbreaking news to a child who is sensitive, who is young and still developing, who doesn't necessarily understand certain harsh realities that we as adults have become accustomed to, it breaks your heart because you know they're going to cry. You know they're going to be disappointed. You know they're going to be sad. You know they're not going to understand. You know they're going to blame themselves. You know all the things that are going to happen, and you want to avoid that, but you cannot. To a certain extent, you cannot, because eventually it's going to come out. I already told you, there's something here about this has been building up, and so when it is expressed, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Right? It's not a matter of if this is expressed, if this truth comes out, if this conversation happens. No. When this happens, that's what that Three of Swords will happen. Yeah? That's when that Three of Swords is going to show up. Or it's going to become real. Like in some of your cases, that has been like, you know, tiptoeing around the perimeter. That has been sort of bubbling up underneath the surface. And now once the conversation happens, it's out in the open. So that's the bitter part. Hurting another person's feelings, having your feelings hurt, feeling disappointed, feeling as if you let someone down, feeling as if they let you down, feeling as if the trust and the honor, interesting, and the honor in a situation was totally busted. There's a potential of, you know, it's varying degrees. You're all on different trajectories. The sweet part, again, because I'm telling you, this is a bittersweet thing. The sweet part is the Three of Cups. Yeah. So, we'll discuss that in a second. The sweet part is the because it's right next door to the Six of Cups. And again, Six of Cups is about nostalgia and remembering, you know, the good old days, so to speak, right? And then the Three of Cups is like a celebration of that. So if this is some type of dissolving of a relationship of any type, romantic, friendship, family, you're parting ways from, you know, maybe you're parting ways from your place of employment, the Three of Cups tends to be about celebrations. Please focus, you mother. There you go. Jesus Christ. And still. Ugh. Why? This deck. I love this deck, but as I've used it on camera, it's like the most difficult thing to get it to focus and stay focused. Anyway, moving on. So this Three of Cups, oh, now you do it. Okay, fine. This Three of Cups can talk about celebrating. So again, it's like thinking back on the good old days. You know what I mean? You know, in like one or two of your cases, I'm talking about a memorial, straight up. It's not a super strong energy, but I think for those where maybe there's a child involved, this Three of Cups talks about a memorial and maybe deciding if the child is old enough, if it's the right thing to have the kid attend the memorial, something like that. But anyway, Three of Cups tends to be a celebration, tends to be a moment to get together, to express joy and happiness and friendship with people, right? Another way of this is like a party, like literally partying together. Shots, 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 drinks, 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 okay? And that might be still a part of your story, you know, regardless of what type of ending we're talking about, regardless of who's to blame and who's at fault and whose heart is broken the most and who was betrayed, because that's, again, that bitter part of the Three of Swords. Underneath it all, aptly, underneath all of that is a sweet energy. We did have good times together. We did make some wonderful memories. If this is a dissolving of a partnership, we did create these beautiful children together. That is something to celebrate, okay? Again, celebrate nostalgic or childhood things, blah. Blah. Duh. Duh is what I meant to say. I apologize. It makes sense. Underneath that pain that we're experiencing now as we go our separate ways as the adults in the situation, we did bring into this world some wonderful children, and we should be proud of that, right? You're all going to experience this in your own ways, Sagittarius, but I cannot help to see that the truth of the matter, from you, from them, from everybody involved, is not going to be easily digested. It's not going to be metabolized in a way that makes sense in the moment. But overall, energetically, what it feels like is this is what was divinely guided. You don't have any major arcanas, but I feel like this was inevitable to some extent. I feel like the withheld energy back here with the Ace of Swords maybe could have helped. I don't know. I can't shake this feeling of this is what was going to happen whether you had this discussion today, yesterday, or tomorrow. The result would have been approximately the same. Yeah? Having such a fast reading. Your outcome for June, Sag, is the Four of Cups. So, kind of what I was saying, but the artwork I'm really into. So you've got these three cups in front of this woman, and she's meditating, she's doing yoga, whatever. And you've got that fourth cup from above, aka from divine. Maybe that's where I was talking from. But it's an ignored cup. It's not realized. It's not acknowledged. So it could be, in some of your cases, this conversation is slept on again. This conversation is postponed even further, potentially. More to the point, I think that the result of this situation is not ideal. For you, for them, for everybody involved, whoever. I feel that there is this effort to make lemonade out of lemons, right? Four of Cups, I feel over here, there's like an evaluation going on, spiritually speaking, emotionally speaking. Maybe there's counseling going on. Because I did say earlier, okay, taking it back there, I did say that possibly this is an attempt at a reconciliation, right? There's camera in this deck, I swear to God. There's a potential reconciliation going on, right? And it could be that that reconciliation is going to be a hard sell. Could be that the reconciliation will take more time than you or the other person thinks is necessary or is willing to give. Could be that the reconciliation will succeed, but we have to face some unknowns or some ignored portions of the story. Like, just to arbitrarily throw it out there, let's say this was a, hey babe, I want to talk to you. I gotta let you know that I did have an affair and I did blah, 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 but I want to make this right and I want to make this better and I just want to move on from the situation. And then the other party says, well, give me the details. Offer or the thing that's being requested or the things that is being presented in the situation. Give me the details. Who was it? What's her name? What's his name? Blah, 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 blah. How did you meet them? Like, I want to know the rundown. And for someone else, it's kind of like, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to express that. But in order to get over the situation, you might have to, or the other party might have to give up information, admit certain things, open themselves up, be more vulnerable in a way that they don't want to. But you'll get it. You'll that makes sense to who it needs to make sense to. I feel as though there is still this reluctance to do things a certain way. Four of Cups, yeah. There's like this still reluctant energy or resistance that may or may not serve the situation. I can't really tell. It's kind of a mixed bag because some are going to give up those details because they care about the connection and they want to maintain it. Others are going to fight giving up the details. They don't see the point. Why can't we just move on from this? I already apologized. When are you going to forgive me? That kind of shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a mixed bag. But you'll understand it when it happens. Overall energy, Sag. Excuse me. 8 of Pentacles. So in some cases, this has been about a work connection. Look at me. I was like, stop from saying that. But it's true. Some of you, this has been about a work situation. So the person that, was the third party, the person from the outside, could just be work itself. Just to be fair, it could just be a dedication to work, a dedication to your own prosperity, as this is 8 of Pentacles. But if it wasn't a dedication to your work and being, a workaholic and like staying late hours at the job, literally just to do work, you were staying late hours at the job to, flirt and be close to someone who you technically weren't supposed to be close to, right? Other than that, this also speaks to the necessary work you and everyone involved has to take under their belt, commit themselves to, right? That's very strange. Oh, okay. I was like, why? They threw the word or the phrase art therapy into my head. And I was like, why? I mean, yes, she's clearly an artist and she's, painting. I was like, art therapy for what? Again, going back to those where maybe we're talking about the loss of a loved one. I'm not seeing cards of that, but I feel it energetically. Someone may have passed away or, is very close to it. And a way to deal with the situation could be art therapy, especially going back to the HSP empathic people and or the children who are needing a different outlet or way to express what they're feeling. Art therapy might be very helpful in the situation because 8 of Pentacles, again, is being dedicated to the work necessary to see a certain outcome or to not compensate, but cope. Yes, cope in the situation, okay? Sagittarius, that is your reading for June. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Feel free to hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would love to read it. It really gives me clarity as a reader. So if you have a little bit that you'd be willing to share, super, super cool. Feel free to share this video across your social media platforms. Let other people know you like watching my stuff. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, my friends. Why not? Sag, I'll be back very soon to do your mid-June readings as well as that surprise live in June, so be on the lookout for that. Again, if you want a personal reading, the information is in the description box as well as the link to the Instagram, okay? All right, Sag, I thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.